All right, guys, bear with me. I've kind of messed up our audio board today. So I'm kind of playing DJ here off to the side. You can't really see what I'm looking at, but trust me, it's lit up more than a light bright. So it's I'm probably going to make a mistake or two. So I apologize in advance, but you guys are used to that, right? I hope you're doing well. I am wave meteorologist Brian Good. Yes, technically here I have Storm Talk. And that's only because I don't have a WindTALK graphic. You need to make one. But you get the idea. We are looking at a setup that's going to feature at least something that's not involving snow. And even our snow chance that was, well, there for Friday night and Saturday is starting to go away. Don't throw anything at the mobile device. We'll get into that in just a second. All right. First off, let's talk about how we're going to get into tonight and tomorrow, because this is important as we head into the next 24 hours, especially. I think it's going to be the roughest that we'll likely experience here in the wave country. If you have any questions, by the way, hopefully I'll be able to explain a lot of this as we go along here. So I'll be paying attention to your questions. So be patient with me. If you have one, just hold off. Let me try to explain this setup. And then if I still haven't, then make sure to type it into the chat on Facebook and on Twitter. And I think, yeah, even YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, it will go through. I can't obviously see you if you're on the app right now or on Roku or Fire Stick. There's nowhere to type. So you'll have to go to a social media page for me to see it, just FYI. All right. So appreciate you guys being here. Let's start with the overcast setup this morning down into areas of E-Town. We've had some very light drizzle in the area. The problem with that is, and you may have already noticed this, is that just a very light rain that we've had in Louisville and parts of southern Indiana. It's been very, very light. It has been just enough, though, to kick up the salt residue once again. So if you did wash your car over the weekend, it will just throw it right back on your windshield again. So get the white fluid ready for today, because as long as it'll be a light rain, and it should be a light rain, you'll probably need to continue to use that, because the windows will get that nice little salty look to them once again. You need a heavy rain to clear that off. The problem with that is heavy rain after a cold spell and a snowy spell with a lot of salt on the road, it does tend to lead to a growing number of potholes. So make sure to pay attention to that. All right. Oh, Matt, got a spammer. Let me take care of that real quick. And sneaky today. They are sneaky today. What'd you say, Marianne? Are you pushing for warmer weather with that snazzy spring jacket? I wore this at Derby. Do you know who else wore this at Derby? The exact same suit. Shaq. I'm just saying. Just throwing it out there. I bought mine first. Okay. Let's get into the setup, though, with temperatures. 47 degrees in Louisville, 46 into Fort Knox, 50 down in Munfordville as expected. We did cool down quite a bit. Seymour, that is quite cold. Your sensor is just north of where you're located at. So I think you're more in the 30s, actually, in Metro Jackson County, but still colder north, cooler, but it actually isn't bad out. It really isn't. It's relatively comfortable outside, to be honest with you, given temperatures into the 40s. All right, so we've had that light rain and drizzle just lingering across areas of Kentucky this morning. Very, very light. The warm front is down here. about to head northbound as we head into the next 12 hours. Now, I will say the trend I'm noticing with the warm front moving through is there's not a ton of rain so far. This is what we got to watch. The slug of rain in southeast Missouri, how much of that will build along the actual warm front itself as it lifts north. And the trend is to really limit how far east it's going to get. So at the moment, right now, it looks more like this for your steady rainfall as we get into later on tonight. If you're south and east of that zone, rain totals cut big time for the area. And as you'll see with the actual cold front, there's not a lot with it as well. So there is the chance some of you are going to get really low rain totals out of this setup, even though the radar looks a bit aggressive here at the moment. Now, as I widen the view out, you see a couple of lines actually trying to form there into Texas. That's the main low itself. You can see the warm sector really building in there across Harry's, Louisiana, into Arkansas. Your severe potential for today, it's another avocado. It's located down into areas of Louisiana, Mississippi. This is like their 15th one they've had. It's crazy. It's been the focal point for severe weather for the past several months, actually. Meanwhile, there is an extension there to the marginal risk into the Ohio River Valley, still our western counties. So that hasn't changed any. And as you're about to see in the data, it's really still looking to be a setup for West Kentucky, where the line fades that heads east. And there's going to be enough wind energy here and heavy downpours that I'm glad they added Illinois and Western Indiana to this, because there is a chance they're going to get some damaging winds out of this. But your tornado threat, again, the base of the clouds is key, and the bases look quite high still when this rolls through here. So it's a tremendous amount of wind shear that is happening. I mean, the numbers are off the charts. If we had fuel for this bad boy coming through here, this would be a significant tornado outbreak, hands down. But we don't have it. We don't have the fuel. We don't have a lot of deep moisture, and we don't have daytime heating involved in this. This is an overnight event when it arrives early tomorrow morning. So that's so far in our favor, allowing us to get a calmer setup on the severe side. Still need to watch our western counties to see how quickly that fades. But so far, everything we're looking at fades it steadily as it heads eastbound. But still, that aside, let's take that information, just move it, scoot it over here to the side, out of the way, off the camera, and just focus on the idea that the wind potential in general is our biggest threat for everyone as we head into tonight and certainly on Thursday. In fact, the latest alerts that are out for this, you don't see a high wind watch too often. Typically, we go from a wind advisory right into a high wind warning scenario. And the definition of this, just so you understand, and it does vary based on latitude and weather office. In Louisville, it's typically sustained winds around 30 miles per hour with frequent gusts to get over 40. Once you get to a high wind scenario, that tends to be more of a frequent gust to get up to 58 miles per hour, which is the threshold for the definition of a severe wind gust. The problem we always have in these scenarios, and we faced this already once this season, where you've got a line of showers that come through. They don't have any thunder with them, but they're producing damaging winds. They're hitting that 58 mile per hour threshold. What do you do at that point? Do you issue a severe thunderstorm warning for that particular band of showers moving through, even though they're not thunderstorms, to bring awareness? Or do you just put out a statement warning everyone and have a wind advisory or a high wind warning already out for several counties? That's a very big dilemma. And I do think that is a discussion still to be had between the Weather Service offices on criteria. I do think it's complex. My personal opinion, there should be some type of localized high wind warning that comes out by county during those kind of events. But I understand the messaging is important and can be confusing. But either way, I'm getting down a deep rabbit hole here. But you see the pink, it's outside of our area. It's for Indianapolis, not far from Cincinnati, just north and back into Illinois. That's where you have your higher wind potential, certainly, because you're closer to the actual low pressure. That's why it's arranged the way it is. But still, into wave country and I-65, it is still going to be a very high-end wind advisory event. High-end enough that there could still be a change to our northern counties here to get upgraded to a high wind warning scenario. That is still on the table here. It can't be rolled out. Now that your chances for that down south are lower, but still, you're going to still have some strong winds. So this is going to be a wind event that's going to kick in later tonight. This officially, I believe, is, actually, I can just check. I don't know why I'm trying to guess. Let's see. I think it's 1 a.m. for tonight. Kicks in, well, it doesn't really say on this, but it's 1 a.m., I believe, until 7 p.m. on Thursday. Because once we deal with the high wind setup with the showers rolling in tomorrow morning, the general wind gust will continue throughout the day on Thursday, especially along and north of 64. So there could be some trimming of the southern end of this advisory throughout the day on Thursday. They may keep the northern half going for a while, but it's going to be a prolonged wind event. We're not going to get out of the wind zone, out of that danger, if you will, really until sunset on Thursday. So it's going to be a long day of wind coming our way. So let me show you how Futurecast handles this as we head into later on. Actually, let me show you something that explains this a little better, although I really apologize. I know this is really hard to read. It's so dark. I promise it looks better on my computer. It did. What you're looking at is the side look of the atmosphere. So you're down here on the ground, and airplanes are way up here flying, even higher than that. All right, this is about 1,000 feet. This is about, let's see, make sure I got this right. Yeah, this is about 2,000 feet. All right. Now we're reading this backwards here. This is in time. All right. So this is now, and this is going to be Thursday a.m., roughly 6 to 8 a.m. That's the window to watch. Now, when you look at the wind profile, and you probably can tell just from looking at the colors, it's obvious to see this is about a 75 to 80 knot jet that is above our head. The winds that dip through here are about 30 knots. So there is a chance. Oh, look, it's a little face. Hello, how you doing? Anyway, sorry. There is a chance when you have showers move through, they can push down these higher winds below the 2,000-foot mark, and in some cases even below 1,000, and then they get to the tree line. And that's when wind damage can take place. This is our concern throughout the day, but especially in the morning hours, is will any just general shower that comes through tomorrow, especially if it's a heavy rain shower, how much of that is going to pull that stronger wind above our head and push it down to the ground level? It's not always a guarantee. Sometimes we have what we call an inversion, where there is a bit of a layer that protects us. It is there, actually, a small inversion later on tonight. We have it now. But once we get into the time period of tomorrow morning, it erodes away just at the last minute, roughly 6 a.m., that's at the point where we lose our shield, and at that point, the wind can get pushed down. That's what we got to watch out for as we get into tomorrow morning. So I just wanted to show you guys on a sideways view. All right, spammer, got him. Here we go. Zach, good question. Which way will the wind be blowing? It will be a southwest wind. So if you're traveling on I-65, parts of even the Snyder Freeway, might as well include the Watterson too, but any north-south roadway, you will certainly feel the impact hitting you in the side with a southwest wind that'll eventually go more west throughout the day. So in general, southwest going west by mid-morning. So again, north-south roadways, you'll feel that sideways tug. If you're traveling on 71 and heading towards Cincinnati, you may save on gas. It's going to just kick you along there, move you. If you're traveling toward Louisville from Cincinnati tomorrow, you may use more gas. You're going to be fighting the wind the entire time. So if tomorrow's moving day for you and you got a U-Haul, just take it slow. Take it slow. All right, so let me show you what it looks like on the rainfall side. Today, we've got this band of rain we'll be watching with the warm front. Again, I'm not sure how much of this yet is going to get east to 65. We're going to fine-tune the forecast on that as we get more data, but the trend is to lower rainfall amounts. Okay, we get to this evening, we're fine. No severe weather, no high winds through midnight. We're good. You get past midnight, the wind will immediately start to ramp up, and we get into the 60s. We rise, so it's going to be warm. You're going to feel that when you let the dog out, like at 4 a.m, getting ready for work. Like, hey, this is not bad. I can get used to this. 60s in the morning is almost like a late summer kind of morning, almost with a 60s. So that's not bad. It will be in the 60s. It will be windy when you open the door up tomorrow morning to head out. Don't bother fixing your hair. Trust me, it's not worth it. But then we'll get the band of thunderstorms to our west. Now, these will be active, could be producing warnings around Paducah all the way into Illinois. Then they head toward I-65. Watch what happens as they get closer to I-65. They just fizzle. They lose a lot of their gas. So it becomes just a thin line of showers, more of a wind line, if you will, that approaches I-65. The time on that is 6:30 a.m. It's not going to be exact on modeling, but the window of 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. I think still looks good. Still in the 60s at that point. That's when the strongest of winds will happen. Now, the problem I've seen with this is that we run into problems with some schools have delayed before. I've seen that, but some schools have run into issues where the power goes out, they end up closing. Not saying that's going to be the case, but I do think there will be some power outages with this tomorrow morning. So just keep an eye on the news tomorrow morning on sunrise. The Swan is going to be updated on the weather side. We'll keep you updated on traffic. There could be some traffic lights that may go out. Basically, it's not the end of the world here by any stretch, right? This is not a major event, so I don't want to play it off as that. I just think it's an impactful event at a bad time. So if you can, just plan ahead to allow extra time for your journey tomorrow morning. That's the key message on this tomorrow. And keep an eye on the kids at the bus stop. I'm sure they're going to be like all excited about the wind. After that blows on by, again, we are done with the rain part, but we just still stay with the wind. But the problem is we will drop in temperature through the day, actually getting a wind chill by 2 or 3 in the afternoon in the 30s. So Thursday will be getting colder. So yes, you're going to wake up tomorrow morning. It's in the 60s. You're going to try to plan your outfit for that. Dress in layers is my advice, because you will have to add those layers on when you get out of school and work as we get into the afternoon. Then it's quiet but cold as we into Thursday night, and then we got the system there to the west I'll talk about in just a second. I always love looking at this. This is the raw data numbers we get from models. This is the GFS, and I know there's a lot, but look at the numbers that are yellow. This indicates the strong wind gust potential, and it's roughly got 5 a.m., 7 a.m., 9:30. That's the time frame it's got with that strong wind gust, 47. Many cases, these models are a bit lower than the reality. So that's something to keep in mind. Here is the HER model. It's got a shot at 41, goes to 50 miles per hour, then a gust to 45, and staying even at 43 miles per hour at 3 in the afternoon. So again, staying windy all day, but the strongest is right there into the morning hours. Look at the rainfall, though. There is not much. It's barely giving Louisville even 1/10 of an inch, if that, of rainfall. So again, some of you are going to really get skimmed on the rain part. You really will. And one more, I think I got one more model. Yeah, this is the NAM. The NAM is the most dramatic right now, which it tends to be a little high on wind anyway. But I do think in a sense it's got the reality right of gusts that could go over 50 to near 60 miles per hour right at that time period of tomorrow morning when that moves through. Again, not much in the way of rainfall coming through. You see we drop in temperatures, the wind chill kicking in the 30s as we head into Thursday evening. So, all right, active setup for sure. Real quick, an update on what happens after this. Well, I will tell you this, that wave that drops down out of Missouri that's going to connect and make the low for the eastern seaboard, well, it no longer wants to head more east. It wants to dive, which means we will likely get missed on any rain to snow chance Friday night. If you're south and west of Louisville, your odds are at least a little better than those in Louisville, north and east. It's okay, though. It's a minor system anyway. Moves on by and then connects the low and becomes a bigger system. I tell you what, real quick, next week, we're going to be busy. We got 2 storms next week. The first one could be another wind and rainmaker at the same time, another morning commute issue. We'll be watching that for Tuesday night into Wednesday morning next week, which will be, of course, Valentine's night. We'll be watching that. And then after it moves by, here's another one. But this one actually is a bit colder. So this one could have some rain and thunder, but I think overall, we're going to get rain to some snow showers, but backlash snow to me is boring, so I don't think it's going to be a big concern. As far as the outlook goes and the extended, it's going to take some time to get the colder weather to move back in the area, but I looked at the long-range Euro yesterday, and let's just say that if you're hoping for warm weather in March, I just don't see it happening right now, guys. I think the trend is colder than normal and above normal precipitation. What that all ends up meaning, we don't know yet. But once again, we may be facing a delayed spring for wave country. And I know that's not, I love snow, but man, when it gets to March and stuff, it's like, come on, let's move on. Let's get on to the new season and let's do winter next year. But we'll keep you updated. Okay. Any questions I can try to answer? What's that, Angela? As long as the wind isn't blowing, I won't put a jacket on until it's 30 degrees or colder. So yeah, you will have to at some point later in the day. But yeah, what do they call these? Windbreakers? Windbreakers. I never said that as a kid, but there you go. Let's see. Chance of snow on Friday, Janice. Nope, we're okay. I think there could be a rain to snow setup, but again, more south and west of Louisville. I think we're okay there. Brandon, any chance of severe weather with these systems next week? If there is any, the Tuesday, Wednesday one, right now, I think stands a better potential. So here we go. We shall see how it plays out. Tim, come on, 70 in storms. Yes, I still think we could hit 70, by the way, next week. I think that's on the table. Yesterday was the warmest day of the year so far at 66. Could easily hit 70 next week. A few days in the 60s for next week. And Travis, our friend up in Indiana, northern Indiana, high wind watch at my house may end up in Chicago. I hope you don't physically mean you're going to blow into Chicago. I hope not. Hope not. Hang in there. Hang tight, anchor down. What you got to do, tie yourself to a rail. What's the latest? We've had snow on the ground in March. We've had snow on the ground all the way to the end of the month before. We've had snow all the way into May before. So it's not unusual. And certainly if you guys have been here for a while, March has been, the past decade, has featured more snow events than any other month of the winter. February was number 2 on that. So we tend to get late season snows here lately. We'll see. This year is a little odd, though. We normally don't get a December snow, especially at Christmas. So that really stood out. But a warm January, it's kind of made sense. And February is always a toss-up month. But this year, it looks like it's going to be active. All right, guys, I'm going to jet. I got to get a lot of maps done, and I got to fix this machine I broke. So I'll have more coming up, of course, come on midday at 11 a.m. And stay tuned. We got an alert day out for tomorrow morning again for this wind event. We may end up extending that. We'll see if the strong winds linger longer than rush hour. But right now, I think this rush hour is going to be our main concern. You guys have a good rest of the day today, and hang on tight. We will keep you updated.